Playing in a traveling band. What's this? Okay. Wind warnings? Certainly doesn't look like it. Hello, everybody. Spokane Steve here with another game of Strat-O-Matic baseball. We're approaching 600 in this 1966 full season replay. Today, the second game of the doubleheader. We played the first one yesterday. The Reds won it. And today it's the Battle of the Fishers. Apparently not the Fisher Kings. Although Jack had a pretty good season, actually. In the replay, he's 3-6, 4.25. This is his 11th start. Hank Fisher was acquired by the Reds from, oh goodness now. The Red Sox? No. From Atlanta. From Atlanta. Hasn't pitched much so far for the Reds. He's been in 2 games in relief, an ERA of 6, just 3 innings of work. World Series of best of 3 now. It's going back to Canada. Let's check in on our chat and see who's all here. Frank's here. Welcome, Frank. His game, it was all Cincinnati. Hello to Kathy Harden, Mangler. Greetings, Mike, Unmitigated, Ernest. I'm still dragging today, not as bad as yesterday. But the show must go on, you know. Coffee. That's all I can tell you. Let me get my stats brought back up here. I'm trying to figure out what the hell that high wind warning was all about. It's a very pleasant 53 and sunny at the moment. Maybe winds later in the evening. Hell, I don't know. I'll be inside anyway. Let's give you the Mets lineup. A little bit different than the first game. Johnny Lewis in left field will lead it off. Chuck Hiller plays second base today. Day off for Ron Hunt. Cleon Jones is in center, hitting third. Ken Boyer, the third baseman. Ed Kranepool at first base. John Stevenson will catch the nightcap and hit 6th. Ron Swoboda in right field. That's an interesting alignment. I'm going to have to make a correction here on the defense. He's a 4 in right and center. He's only a 3 in left. So I wonder why you wouldn't play Lewis, who's a 3 in both with a -3 arm. I would put Lewis in right and Swoboda in left, but that's how they did it. Eddie Brasu's the shortstop and Jack Fisher. Hank Fisher on the mound. What could possibly go wrong here with 2 Fishers pitching? I can see that getting me confused at some point. And I trust you guys will have my back, so let's get on with it. Umpires for today's game. Steve, you're pitching the wrong Fisher. Yeah, I can see it all now. Ed Vargo is the home plate umpire. Doug Harvey at first. No second base umpire. Couldn't afford one. And Shay Crawford at third base. Outstanding, Frank. That could be a fun topic. What things cost in 1966? I started driving in 1972, and the first price I paid for gas was $29.9. That was the cheapest I ever paid. So in 1966, how much was a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, a happy ending massage? Inquiring minds would like to know. Johnny Lewis will start things off as we begin the game. Hank Fisher on the mound. Lewis hitting just 165 with 2 home runs. The pitch from Hank Fisher is a 4-7 left-handed. Lewis promptly bangs that into right field for a leadoff single. And we're underway. About $15K for a house. That actually sounds a bit high to me. But I don't really know. Let's see, was it 66 we moved? No, hang on. 61 or 62? I think it was 62 we moved to Laguna. And I think my dad paid about 12 for a house today that's worth over $2 million. So Laguna, although it wasn't the playground for millionaires it is today, it was always a bit higher than anywhere else in the Orange County area. Of course, he didn't buy the house with the lot. It was a very interesting thing where they were going to tear down the house to expand the parking lot of the elementary school, so they sold the house dirt cheap. He bought a lot up the street from it and then had to hire a house moving truck or something to move the house and put it on the lot. All in all, it was a very good deal, and that's why he did it. Otherwise, even in 66, we would have never lived there. No, it wasn't 66, it was 62. A 6-pack was about $1.80. Candy bars were still a nickel in the early 70s. Anyway, enough of that. Runner at first, here's Hiller. Please continue, though. I'm going to quit my rambling and roll some dice. From the stretch, it's a 1-8 right-handed. It's a grounder wide of first. Coleman has it down to Cardenas for 1, and that's all they'll get. That'll be a 3-6-4. Lewis is erased. Hiller at first, no threat to run. And with 1 down, here's Cleon Jones. I did too, unmitigated. I knew the day they came out, and I was down there on my bike. Cleon hitting .316, 5 homers, 15 RBIs. Hank Fisher, 6'2", right-handed, high pop fly to shallow center. On comes Pinson to make the catch, and there's 2 down. Ken Boyer will be the hitter, .242 average, and a team-leading 8 home runs and 34 runs batted in. The pitch from Hank Fisher is a 4-7 right-handed. He rips that one into right field. They're waving Hiller to third, and the Mets will have runners at the corners with 2 away. It'll be up to Ed Kranepool. Kranepool on the year hitting just .220, 6 home runs, and his 25 RBIs, second on the club. Fisher checks the runner. The pitch to Kranepool on a 2-6 righty. Ground ball through the right side and into right field for a single. Hiller will score. Boyer can try to go to third. 12-14. Harper +1, 15. They're going to gamble. They're going to send him. Here comes the throw into third base, and he is out. Harper to Rose to Johnson. Boy, I tell you lately, every time I do something that's against the book, or at least my book, it hasn't worked out. And that comes from right field. The Mets settle for a run on 3 hits as we go to the bottom of the first. New York 1, Cincinnati nothing. Who's the beer batter? Hang on, I missed something. It kind of does, Frank, but you know, a lot of it's about attitude. Oh, I see it now. The Schaefer beer batter is Chuck Hiller, who hit into a force play and came around to score. Here's the Reds lineup. I seem to be lagging again on my monitor. Tommy Harper in right field leads things off. Pete Rose at second base. Vada Pinson in center field. Gordy Coleman at first base hits cleanup. Art Shamsky, coming off a 2-homer player of the game performance, moves up to the 5 spot in left field. Darren Johnson plays third base today and hits 6th. Leo Cardenas at short. Johnny Edwards is going to Iron Man it and catch both games of the Twin Bill. And Fisher, the pitcher, hitting 9th. So Jack Fisher on the mound. This is already driving me crazy with the Fishers, I'm going to tell you right now. And Harper will lead it off. Harper at 203, no home runs. Here's the windup and the pitch from Jack Fisher. It's a 3-10 right-handed hard smash to third, fielded by Boyer. Strong throw across in time to nip the speedy Harper. Pete Rose steps to the plate, switch hitter batting left-handed. He leads the club in batting at .302, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. The pitch is a 3-10 right-handed, and he walks him. The Rose works out the 1-out walk. No threat to steal normally. Let's take a look at the battery. Jack Fisher a 0, Stevenson with a +1. Still, Rose will not be attempting to go anywhere. And here's Vada Pinson. Pinson at 253, 5 home runs, and a team-leading 34 RBIs. Fisher out of the stretch. It's a 1-4 righty, foul ball right side. Kranepool over and makes the catch. And with 2 away, that'll bring up the first baseman, Gordy Coleman, hitting .250, 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. Fisher, 5-7 left-handed, grounder to second, routine for Hiller, flips it over to Kranepool, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, a man left, and after 1 inning of play, Mets lead it 1-0. There's Franklin Long. Welcome, Franklin. Unmitigated, he probably will anyway. He's up in the cheap seats. He's been snubbing me, so, you know, welcome to the club. John Stevenson, the left-handed hitting catcher, will lead off the second. He's hitting .203 in just 69 at-bats. He does have 1 home run. Hank Fisher on the mound. The windup and the pitch. 4-5 left-handed, grounder to first, single to 3 only. That's going to be a 3, and Stevenson has a leadoff single. 4th New York hit. A leadoff single from the catcher, John Stevenson. Here's Ron Swoboda now. Swoboda hitting just .179, 2 home runs. Fisher from the stretch. It's a 5-5 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. Here's Eddie Brissou, the shortstop. Eddie hitting .231, 3 homers, 9 RBIs. Fisher from the stretch. The pitch is a 4-7 right-handed. He bangs that one into right field, dropping in front of Harper. They're waving Stevenson to third, and he'll be in there. Runners at the corners, one down, and the Mets have something going in the second. Unfortunately for the Mets, the pitcher's up. Fisher, a terrible hitter, but he is an A bunter, and that will force the Reds to bring the infield in. No speed at all at third base. That pretty much takes the squeeze play out of the situation. Or does it? So there's only 2 chances out of 36 that the runner would have to steal home. The squeeze is on. It's an 8B. Batter is safe. Runner on third is thrown out. By the pitcher. That goes one. No, runner on third's thrown out. Excuse me. I don't do this very often. Maybe that's why. So that's a 1-2. We're going to call it a 1-2-5 force. He's on, and Brassu to second. So nothing I'm trying to do to scrap for the Mets. An offensively challenged team, to be sure. You can see why I'm doing this, or managing this way. So far it has not worked out, but they do lead it 1-0, and here's Johnny Lewis with 2 down. Fisher's pitch is a 3-5 righty. Struck him out. Lewis, who strikes out a lot, fans here to end the second. And no, with nothing doing for the Mets, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Looking at Lewis, let's take a look here. That's his 31st strikeout in 105 at-bats. So he's striking out just under a third of the time. Does have some pop, but he pays for it with a lot of swing and miss. Jack Fisher on the mound. Art Shamsky will lead it off. Shamsky, after yesterday's performance, raised his average to 206, but 9 home runs, 18 RBIs. Jack gets the sign. The pitch to Shamsky on a 5-5 lefty. It's a high fly ball to deep right field. Swoboda back at the track, at the wall. It's off the wall. Shamsky holds up at second with a long double. Man, I thought he was going to hit another one. Shamsky's hot right now. Darren Johnson back in the lineup, playing third base. His least played position that year. Left field and first base, the other two. Hitting just .209, but 10 home runs and 31 RBIs. Fisher checks the runner at second, comes in at a 1-8, pops him up left side. Brassu will take it. And that's the first out. Here's the shortstop, Leo Cardenas. Cardenas hitting .220, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs. Fisher gets the sign. It's a 2-2 right-handed high fly ball to deep left. Backing up is Lewis on the track, pulls it in. And Cardenas hit it well. They got under it just a bit. And it's allowed out to left field. That'll leave it up to Johnny Edwards. Left-handed hitting catcher, hitting just 188 on the season. Fisher's pitch is a 4-7 lefty. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Edwards, and that ends the second inning. For the Reds, no runs, a hit, 1 left. And we move along to the third inning. Hank Fisher pitching for the home team. There he is. It's Hiller, Jones, and Boyer due up here in the third inning. The beer batter is up. You know, unmitigated, for some reason, this makes me want to have some fish. Chuck Hiller, 0 for 1. Hank Fisher into the windup. Mr. Hiller is a 5'9" left-handed. It's a base hit, 1-12. That could be a double, and it's just a single on a 12. Leadoff single for Hiller. Just missed the double. To take another look at it, 5'9", homered 12, Hiller a week. Rolled the 12, and he'll settle for a long single. Here's Cleon. Hiller takes his lead. Fisher out of the stretch, 5-5 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. See how my mind works? Yeah, exactly. Here's Boyer. He singled his first time up. Fisher from the stretch once again on a 4-10 right-handed high pop fly to center. Pinson coming in, waiting, and makes the catch. It'll be up to Cranepool now. Cranepool singled in the first. Fisher checks the runner. Comes to the plate, 4-5 lefty. Cranepool hits a ground ball to first, single to 3, and it's fielded by Coleman. Underhands to Fisher, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Could it be the pitching duel of the Fishers? Not really what you would expect by the numbers going in, that's for sure. On the other hand, neither of these teams hit much. So here's Hank Fisher leading off. Right-handed hitter. Jack's pitch on a 3-6, routine grounder to short. Basu takes it on a hop and throws him out. Tommy Harper, 0 for 1 standing in. Jack Fisher into the windup. Here's the pitch on a 5-7 righty. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Harper down on strikes. And here's Pete Rose. That's a 6-6 left-handed. That's going to be a grounder to second. Single to 16, and that'll get through and into the outfield for a 2-out single for Pete Rose. Just the second Cincinnati hit of the ball game. And up steps Veda Pinson. I really believe that Veda Pinson should be in the Hall of Fame. This, however, not one of his better years. Still leads the team in RBIs, though, and here's the pitch from Jack Fisher on a 2-11 righty. Comebacker, Fisher has it, tosses it over to Cranepool, and that ends the third inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left for Cincinnati. 3 innings in the book, still 1-0. Yeah, I've got my old man sweater on today, or as my cousin calls it, my Mr. Rogers sweater. That's a very balanced meal, Brian. All of the major food groups are represented. Who packs your lunch? Mr. Rogers? No, Mr. Johnson. Bill's here, and he's going to fire up the trivia. What is it, our anniversary? I don't do fish sticks. I'll eat tater tots, though. It's high time for hires. Nice. Thanks for jogging my memory there with that one. And here comes the question. We talked about teammates who started games together. And it was Billy Williams and Ron Santo, the two teammates that started the most games together. You know, that was just yesterday, so I'm surprised I can remember it. Today's question, name the pair of non-Hall of Famers who started the most. Non-Hall of Famers. Bill Russell and Ron Say. Thank you, Unmitigated. Unmitigated's going to fire up the car radio as we move to the third inning. Hank Fisher on the mound. John Stevenson to lead it off. He had a single his first time up. Fisher into the windup. The pitch on a 4-6 left-handed. Hard ground ball through the right side and into right field for a single. So John Stevenson 2 for 2. Here's Ron Swoboda. Fisher out of the stretch now. The pitch to Swoboda on a 4-10 righty. High pop fly to shallow center. Here comes Pinson waiting on it now. Still waiting. Man, that was a major league pop-up. Here's Eddie Brassu. He singled his first time up. Fisher's pitch is a 110 right-hander. He bangs that into right field for a base hit. A double on a 1 only. It's a single with Stevenson advancing to third. Same situation as the first. Reds bring the infield in. And you know what? I'm going to be stubborn today. It's the squeeze play. It's a 7B, and it works. Batter is thrown out by third base, and the run scores. How about that? A rare squeeze play. That's an RBI for Fisher. Pursued a second. I figured a B bunter, he couldn't blow it 2 times in a row. 2-0 New York on a squeeze by Fisher. And here's Johnny Lewis with 2 down. 112, high fly ball to deep right field. Harper turns around and watches it fly. Bye-bye baseball. And the Mets jump out to a 4-0 lead on a 2-run blast by Johnny Lewis. For Lewis, just his 3rd home run of the season. Ooh, Patek and White. Good guess. White and Hal McRae. Here's Chuck Hiller now with 2 down. Fisher's pitch. 3-11 righty. Grounder down to first. Coleman will take it himself. And that'll end the inning. But the Mets explode for 3 runs on 3 hits. The big blow, a 2-run blast by Johnny Lewis. And they lead it 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the inning. Hank Fisher just 5 inning rated for starter endurance. Jack Fisher a 7. Ernest gets it with Willie Wilson and Frank White. Yay! Man, we needed a lot of clues on that one, Bill. Good job. Bottom of the 4th, Reds trail by 4. Gordy Coleman will start things off. Jack Fisher gets the sign from Stevenson. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch on a 5-8 left-handed. Grounder down to first. Cranepool gloves it. Underhands to Fisher covering, and there's one down. Here's Shamsky, who doubled his first time up. Whoops, we got one out. He fouls it back. The next pitch is a 1-5. It's a high fly ball to right field. Swoboda back at the wall, gone. Shamsky with his 3rd home run in 2 games. And now he's on cycle watch. Art Shamsky with his 10th home run of the year makes it 4-1. He says, that was a mighty fine toaster. I'd like another one. Darren Johnson, the hitter. Yeah, Patek and Otis came over in trades. Here's Darren Johnson. Jack Fisher with the pitch on a 1-8 righty. He pops him up left side. Brassou waving his arms. They'll take it. That's twice Darren Johnson has popped to short, and with 2 down, here's Cardenas. Jack Fisher with the pitch. It's a 5-2 right-handed. Fly ball to center, playable for Cleon. He's there. And that'll do it in the 4th. The Reds get a run on the Shamsky homer. And the score is 4-1. Exactly. Yeah. We can't have that on this team. Are you kidding me? Welcoming in. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought I saw Cosmo enter the room, but I was wrong. Okay, 5th inning. First endurance inning for Hank Fisher, and the heart of the order for the Mets coming up. Fisher into the windup. The pitch to Cleon on a 1-5. High fly ball to left. Shamsky takes a few steps back and puts it away. Here's Boyer. 1 for 2. Fisher's pitch. 2-7 right-handed. High fly ball to center. Pinson backs up and hauls it in. 2 quick outs in the 5th, and here's Ed Cranepool. Fisher gets the sign. The pitch on a 2-7 right-handed. Another fly ball to center. Pinson to his right, and he is there. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Hank Fisher in his first endurance inning. I tell you, I have to admit, the way Hank Fisher's been pitching, I kind of expected him to not make it through that inning, but he surprised me by setting him down in order. It would not hurt my feelings any if one of these Fishers left the game, just for confusion's sake. Here's Jack Fisher, the Mets starting pitcher. He's going to be facing Edwards, the pitcher's spot, and Harper. The pitch to Edwards on a 4-2, he walks him. Leadoff walk to Johnny Edwards. Fisher Can't even bunt. He's a D bunter. Heck, he's been knocked around anyway. I'm going to hit for him here. A little early in my mind to hit for the starter, but he is a 5-inning pitcher. And no, I'm not doing it just to get a Fisher out of the game. Notabart worked both games of the doubleheader, so we could use him. But I think we're going to go with the lefty, Ted Davidson. Batting for the Reds against Jack. Not really a lot on the Reds bench, I'll tell you that. Tony Perez will be the hitter. He pinch hit in this game in real life. The young Perez hitting .254, just one home run. Fisher out of the stretch. The pitch to Perez on a 3-12. It's a high fly ball to deep left, backing up his Lewis at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Holy cow. Tony Perez comes off the bench and hits a pinch hit home run. Suddenly it's a 4-3 game. 6-12 to 14, he rolled the 9, and that's just his second home run of the season. Tony Perez comes through big time off the bench. We've got a one-run game now, and the top of the order coming up. Tommy Harper, the hitter. Fisher with the pitch. That's going to be a 4-5 right-handed fly ball to right field. Swoboda is right there to make the grab. Here's Rose now, singled and walked. Fisher's pitch to Rose is a 1-7 right-handed base hit into right field. Reds bats coming alive here in the 5th. That'll bring up Vada Pinson, who's 0 for 2. Fisher working out of the stretch. The pitch to Pinson is a 6-5 lefty. Grounder to short X. This could be 2. It's Pursue, a 432. Hold your breath on this one. On a 3, he's not going to get there. That's a single 2 stars. All the way to third goes Rose. So Pursue unable to get to that grounder, and it's runners at the corners, 1 down. Here comes Gordy Coleman. The Mets have no desire to get into their bullpen this early in the game. Let's take a look at Coleman's card here. Doesn't hit into many ground ball A's, so the Mets will bring the infield in with runners at the corners and 1 down. Here's the pitch on a 5-5 lefty. It's a high fly ball to deep right field. Swoboda back at the track, off the wall for extra bases. Rose can walk home. They might send Pinson. 16 to center, where Jones is a -1. 15 with 1 out. They're going to send him. The throw to the plate. He scores, and Coleman moves up to third on the 4. And the Reds take the lead on a double by Gordy Coleman. 5-4 now. And out to the mound goes John Stevenson. Let's take a look at the Mets pen. You've got left, right for the Reds. Lefty Jerry Arrigo begins to throw. He's joined by the right-hander Dick Selma. Infield will remain in for Shamsky, who's doubled and homered. Can he hit a triple? Thinking about the cycle. No, he cannot. The pitch to Shamsky on a 1-6. It's a high fly ball to right. Swoboda back at the track, at the wall. Makes the catch at the wall. Tagging and scoring is Coleman. That's going to be a sac fly for Shamsky. 5 runs have crossed, and it's 6-4 Reds. 2 down, and here's Johnson. On a 5-9 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. A rough inning for Jack Fisher. The Reds put 5 on the board on 4 hits, and after 5 complete, lead it 6-4. Anybody's game now as we go to the 6th. Ted Davidson will take the mound for the Reds. Davidson 2-1, 4.09 on the season. And the Mets will look to the bench here. Definitely do not want Stevenson batting against the lefty. So Grody, who caught the first game, is going to pinch hit. He says, hey, if Edwards can do it, I can do it. A 2E8 -1, that tightens up the defense as well. Davidson facing Jerry Grody, who's batting .250, no homers, 11 RBIs. The left-hander winds and deals, 4-9, liner to second, single to 4. That's going to be speared there by Rose. The hitter will be Swoboda, 0 for 2. Davidson with the windup and the pitch on a 6-9 righty. Grounder down to first. Coleman fields it, throws to Davidson, covering, and quickly there's 2 down. Here's the shortstop, Eddie Brasseau. The pitch from Davidson. 5-7 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Davidson comes on and sets the Mets down in order here in the top of the 6th. And here's Jack Fisher now. We can close the book on Hank Fisher. He gave up 9 hits in 5 innings, 4 runs. Didn't walk anybody. He struck out 2. Bottom third for Cincinnati. Welcoming in Blaine Shores. Hello, Blaine. Cardenas 0 for 2. Jack Fisher with the windup and the pitch. It's a 4-7 right-handed. Grounder to first. Single to 3 only. And he gets the single. Single for Cardenas as he rolls the 1. -115. He'll be held at 13. And Johnny Edwards, the hitter, bad bullpen or not, I'm not sure how long we can go with Jack Fisher here. Let's see if he can at least get through the bottom of the order. Edwards 0 for 1 with a walk. Fisher out of the stretch. That's going to be a 2-6 righty, and he walks him. And pitcher coming up or not, here comes Westrom, and that's going to do it. We're going to look for a double switch. They're going to bring the lefty Jerry Arrigo in. Arrigo's hot, by the way. In fact, I'd written him in on the other side, so I didn't bother to repeat it. But Arrigo in the last 10 games, 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. So Arrigo running hot, he's going to come in. Didn't they acquire him from the Reds? Or am I thinking of somebody else? The batter is Davidson. He's a 1 right-handed batter and a D bunter. And he squares to bunt. It's a 3 on a D and a successful bunt for Davidson. Play is handled by the pitcher. So Cardenas to third, Edwards to second, 1 down. Mets will bring the infield in now for Tommy Harper. Harper with great speed. Hello, Mike Eisenberg, another name I don't remember, and if I'm wrong, please forgive me. But welcome to the chat, Mike. Tommy Harper's 0 for 3 today. Infield in. Arrigo, the pitch. It's a 3-9 left-handed. Struck him out. Two down, it'll be up to Rose. Rose will turn around and bat right-handed against Arrigo with Pinson on deck. Here's Jerry's pitch on a 1-5. That's ripped it for extra bases into the gap in left center. Triple on a 1. That will be a 2-base hit. 2 runs will score. And the Reds have opened up a big lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Cardenas scores. Edwards scores. 2 RBIs for Rose. And it's 8-4 Cincinnati. And there goes, well, no, I was just say there goes Arrigo's scoreless streak. Those runs not charged to Jerry. Here's Vada Pinson. Rose standing at second with 2 down. Here's the pitch. 6-3 left-handed, base hit to center field, open single. Rose coming to the plate, 15-17. Jones a -160. And here comes the throw, and he's out at the plate. Oh my goodness, what a throw by Cleon Jones. So the Reds with the lead gambled and sent Rose. And he's gunned down on a perfect 1-hopper from Cleon Jones. Reds settle for 2 on 3 hits, leave 1, and after 6, they lead it 8-4. Davidson will come out for his 2nd inning of work as we go to the 7th. And I need some more coffee, so give me just a minute here. Okay, we're back. Davidson pitching for Cincinnati. Oh man, I even mentioned double switch and then forgot to do it. That's okay, Arrigo was not that impressive anyway. The Mets will pinch hit to start off the 7th. Let's tidy this up. 5+ for Fisher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. All 8 runs allowed. All earned. He walked 2. Struck out 3. Arrigo in his 1 inning. 2 hits, no runs. Although he did allow 2 runs to score. No walks and a strikeout. Hitting against Davidson will be Jim Hickman coming off the bench. I love that one, Franklin. Rose will learn to be more aggressive trying to score as his career progresses. Hickman on the year, 254, 1 homer, 5 RBIs. Davidson with the windup and the pitch. It's a 1-6 righty. Fly ball to straightaway center. Patrolling there is Pinson, who makes the catch, and Hickman is retired. Mets may go to the bench again. Let's not get so fast with Hickman. He might stay in the game and left. Larry Elliott will be the batter for Johnny Lewis. A left-on-left matchup, but a pretty good matchup for Elliott, really. Davidson, one of those backwards lefties, and Elliott with good power against lefties, or at least some power. Here's Davidson's pitch to Elliott on a 2-9, struck him out. With 2 down, Hiller will bat. 5-10 left-handed, high fly ball to shallow center. Pinson comes on and puts it away. So let's see how we're going to do this now. We're going to put the pitcher in the leadoff spot. Hickman will stay in the game in the 9 spot and play right field. 3E5 -1. And Swoboda will move over to the left where he's a 3. So it's Pursue, Hickman, the pitcher, Hiller. Now pitching for the Mets, trailing 8-4. Left, left, right. Boy, it's a mess, isn't it? Let me check the usage display here for the Mets. Let's see who needs some work. Sutherland. Gordy Richardson, maybe. He's a left-hander. Yeah, let's go that way. Gordy Richardson, a left-hander, will come in. Computer-only card. Wrong team, Steve. No point wasting Hamilton or Eilers in a game like this. Richardson's been in 3 games. One of them was a start. 3 1/3 innings of work. And let's go to the Mookie cam. Almost forgot. I apologize, folks. I'm out of sorts the last few days. This World Series is draining me. There's Mookie. It's too much for the old man. What about this young man here? Do you have the young man blues, Mookie? He's shutting me. Mookie, are you giving me the stink eye? Perhaps you would like a little toy. Nope, he's not going for it. Anyway, Mookie says hello. I think. Very strange goings-ons next door, where the old woman next to me hasn't been there for a couple of months at least. Apparently she vacated her apartment and left all her stuff behind. They've been posting notices, and the maintenance crew went in there today. I don't know what's going on. All right, back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. It's 8-4 Reds. Gordy Coleman will lead it off against the lefty Richardson. The pitch is a 1-7. Struck him out. Here's Shamsky. Doubled homer to hit a sac fly in the 5th. Left-on-left matchup on a 1-9 righty. He grounds it to second base. Hiller picks it up and throws him out. And here's the third baseman, Darren Johnson. Richardson into the windup on a 6-8 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Lewis. It is gone. Home run, Darren Johnson. For DJ, that is number 11 on the season. Gives him the team lead. I don't know how well you can see that. Maybe not well at all, but it's a 6-8 clean shot off of Richardson. Selma's ready. Here's Cardenas. It's a 6-6 right-handed. That's going to be a triple to 3, double otherwise. That's ripped over Lewis's head. Cardenas in with a stand-up double. So Richardson able to get the left-handers out. He's having a time with the righties. He'll face the left-handed hitting catcher, Johnny Edwards. And here's the pitch to Edwards on a 2-8, swung on and missed, strike 3. Reds get another run on a Darren Johnson home run. Through 7, it is now 9-4 Reds. That's going to be it for Richardson. Davidson has worked 2 innings. He's rated 3 for endurance. With a big lead, we're just going to go ahead and send him out there again. Cleon Jones will start it off. He's 0 for 3. The pitch from Ted Davidson is a 6-3 righty. Fly ball to left field X. That's going to be Shamsky. A 4E8 to left. Here's the play on a 14. That's going to drop in for a single. Jones with a leadoff single. And Don Nodbart will begin tossing in the Reds' pen. Here's Boyer now, 1 for 3. The pitch from Ted Davidson. 3-7 lefty. He loses in ball 4. And one more hitter walk will fatigue Davidson. With a big lead, he will pitch to Cranepool. And here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 1-7 fly ball to center. Pinson right there to make the grab, and that's the first out of the inning. Here's Jerry Grody now, 0 for 1. Came in the game to pinch hit for Stevenson. Davidson checks the runners. Comes to the plate, 6'10 right-handed. It's a high pop fly to left field. Shamsky comes on and puts it away. And it will be up to Ron Swoboda. Ron's 0 for 3 today. Davidson's pitch on a 4-6 righty. Grounder to short. Routine for Cardenas, who throws him outside retired. No runs, a hit, 2 left on. That'll do it for Davidson. He's worked 3. Right, switch left. Dick Selma will come on for... Nah, they're out of this game anyway. Sutherland's going to come in. As thin as that Met pen as thin as the Mets pen is, there's no reason to waste Selma in a game like this. 9-4 is the score. Davidson's pitched 3 innings. He's coming out anyway, so the Reds will hit for him just because. Let's find somebody who hasn't batted much. Let's give Chico Ruiz another at-bat. He started the game yesterday at third base. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Pitch from Sutherland on a 6-8. It's a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Hiller. Hiller 4-17 to his left. Here's the play on a 13. He makes the fine play and throws him out. Nice play by Hiller. That'll bring up the leadoff man, Tommy Harper. Harper 0 for 4 today. Sutherland hits the sign. It's a 1-4 righty. Ground ball third base. Boyer has it. Throws to first, 2 down. And here's Pete Rose now. Rose 3 for 4 with a walk. He's been on base all 4 times. Batting left-handed against Sutherland. Here's the windup. And the pitch is a 5-11. Rose goes the other way with it and drops it to left field in front of Swoboda. His 4th hit of the game. Vada Pinson will come to bat. He's 2 for 4. Rose takes his lead. Sutherland out of the stretch on a 4-8 lefty. He loses him ball 4. That'll bring up Gordy Coleman. Sutherland, the pitch. 2-12 right-hander, grounder to second, Hiller to Kranepool, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the 9th, all Reds, 9-4. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Let me take just a minute to gather my thoughts. Frank, for you like Rose already for player of the game. I can see that. 4 hits and a walk. Notabart will come in to pitch the 9th. It's Brassu, Hickman, and the pitcher's spot. Notabart gets the sign from Edwards. Here's the pitch to Eddie Brassu. It's a 4-5 righty. He pops him up left side. Cardenas under it and makes the catch. 1 away. Here's Jim Hickman. Notabart into the windup. The pitch to Hickman on a 3-5. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Pinch hitting for Sutherland. Let's see who needs him at bat here. Al Luplo is going to hit. He seems to be a frequent choice as a pinch hitter when he's not in the lineup. Mets down to their last out. Notabart facing Al Luplo. Here's the windup in the pitch on a 5-6. Lupo rips one into the right center gap. Triple to 7. He'll settle for the long single. Luplo comes through off the bench. That'll bring up Chuck Hiller. Hiller 1 for 4 today. Notabart checks the runner. Comes to the plate 3-7 righty. Fly ball to center. This will do it. Pinson is there, and that's the game. 9-4 Reds. A rather uneventful game today. But that happens sometimes. I'll have the totals in a moment. Let's see, Davidson in his 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs. He hit a walk and 2 strikeouts. Notabart in his inning, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. They had the lead. Five runs in the 5th makes a winner out of Hank Fisher, believe it or not. He's 2-5. No save. Thank you, Mangler. Richardson in his inning gave up 2 hits and a run. No walks, 2 strikeouts. Sutherland in his inning, a hit, a walk, no runs. and no strikeouts. The loser is Jack Fisher, who drops to 3-7. Player of the game will be Pete Rose. He was on all 5 times, 4 hits and a walk. Scored a run, drove in 2. He might have scored 2, except he was gunned out at the plate in the 6th. And the totals are as follows. The Reds, 9 runs, 13 hits, no errors. The Mets, 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. So the Mets had a lot of hits. They left a lot of base runners. Home runs by Johnny Lewis, Tony Perez off the bench, Art Shamsky, and Darren Johnson. Looking ahead on the schedule, tomorrow we will have the California Angels at the Kansas City Athletics. Marcelino Lopez versus the young Jim Catfish Hunter. 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. What is tomorrow? Thursday. So please be here. Hopefully we'll have a closer game tomorrow. But anyway, it'll be fun either way. Both Fishers ended up with decisions. Well, I think it's time for me to get something to eat, so I'm going to get the heck out of here. Have a great evening, everyone. Enjoy the World Series game, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye for now.